Okay, here we go again. I should probably close the door. It's getting cold. Apparently, as you can see, there's some time that's going on, and it's now what is it, o'clock? Of course, that doesn't go totally correct. Well, it's nearly 22. Well, half. Well, let's see if we can actually have 22:24. So it's been a while, or half an hour or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but maybe more research. In any case, I found I had to have it. It stopped the recording, then I put it in, and it stopped it because it said it was too hot. Apparently, in regards to the recording, it has a way of heating up, but I have a bigger battery in it. I actually had ordered a bigger, another that was even bigger to keep the. But I ordered and I got a wrong battery, so I have to check in regards to that as well. Oh, sorry about that. So I forgotten that. Out peeing and all that. Sometimes hopefully I didn't. I had underwear on, so it probably shouldn't be a problem. Anyway, the 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 butter is pretty much ready. So I was just reading in regards to the Bible a little, of finding a little of the place of the Passover, and I forgot something. 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Let's see. There we go. Hey, can you see anything different? Well, it's maybe a little hard there, but maybe you can see it here. Can you see the difference? I don't know if you can, I'm getting. Anyway, what did I miss? The sandals. You have your sandals on, made in Jerusalem, by the way. If I'm like camel, it should say made in Jerusalem. They have different sandals. Actually, they actually broke pretty quickly. I had to re-glue them. But so they have pretty much worked pretty good after the re-gluing. But both of them pretty much the same place. That's not very good. But anyway, the sandals on, the staff in your hand, and ready to go in regards of the Passover, right? They had to be ready to leave. Eat your meat in haste. And I must say, I'm already full. And it says that you shouldn't leave anything, left. You should burn if there's anything left. So, but that's pretty, because I'm already full, But I ate one of these, after the video stopped because of the heating. Apparently, because I wanted to charge it. It's so sad that but it went on for 3 hours, without any problems. So it would have been interesting to see if I put a bigger battery, because it does seems to actually help in regards of heating up if you have bigger batteries in it. Again, I got a wrong battery, so I have to, I ordered, a bigger battery, and I got another product, I don't know. Anyway, it's not the day that one should speak in regards of, so anyway, it was actually pretty tasty, the one I bought. There's not really that much meat in it. Oh, you're not allowed to break bones in regards to the lamb as well. Now, of course, these bones are pretty much broken where I bought them already, or chopped over and all that. So, but as Yeshua didn't get any bone broken, we are not to break the Passover. Bone. I have some fat on this. It's a little tough, but and I'm not sure it actually tastes much of lamb either. Maybe I'm just getting more used to the lamb taste. I'm not sure. I do wonder in regards of the, full-grown sheep. They say they have more taste of lamb, and the thing is, if you actually, there's a lot of smoke coming up here. I'm not sure you can see it on the video, but apparently that's weird because there's more oil in it. But anyway, I think I'll fix it up. Or maybe I could, take a paper here that I can just show it. Again, some, regards of not making a fire and all that, but you have to, I guess one have to remember that in the old time, it took a lot more for them to actually do it. It's a lot of work. So, I don't know, I'm still researching it, but at least I'll turn it on now and see if we can get it going without smoking anymore. There's a lot more oil down there. Oh, well, not more. But there are oil down there. And let's have the glove. This is, regards of if I need to move it. Yeah, there you go. Lightning again. Of course, we could take some bread and take some of this really, really soft butter. Let's take some butter. There we go. Look at that. Oh, this is wonderful. That's how butter. And sadly, again, I would have liked it to be more salted, but again, I don't have much of. Of course, I can salt it myself. Of course. Yep. And the good. This is Himalaya salt, but the thing is actually this. It says actually it's another marker. I just filled it up again because it's a pretty good. Can. So I just filled it up with Himalaya salt. Pink Himalaya salt. I've heard you can get black Himalaya salt as well. Oh, maybe that's a little too much. But anyway, good again. Yeah. Yeah. I surely taste the butter. Maybe one could take some bitter herbs as well. Bitter herbs on it. There we go. A little. It's a little hard to see on the camera, of course. There we go. It could be more light, but anyway, maybe I should have had a light, up and going down. That could probably be done in some way. Anyway, I have so much to eat, and I have so much lamb, and I'm already full. And I have to have eaten it before, morning. I must say I'm really, enjoying the grapes, or maybe it's because I'm so thirsty, I wonder how it's looking again if I turn this off. Well, it's not that much in regards to the candle now, or whatever you want to call it. A little. You can't really see me. I don't know. Oh, maybe I can. What if I do like this? How does that look? You can actually see me now. Maybe no. There we go, and we can still see what I'm doing. Let's try this for a while. And so again, I still have a lot to eat. I'm just reading in regards of the Bible again, finding the place, and we could pretty much read that aloud in regards to the last plague, I guess it's called. Oh, here we go. But I guess even if it's close to midnight, 3 hours down the line, and I can be hungry again, I guess. So I should be able to get it all down, hopefully. Would be a waste throwing it out, right? So, and the nuts. I guess I should have put them in the little water to get some. They're a little hard. Oh, that's good. Let's get some more of that. I'm really thirsty. Bum, bum, bum. Have a whole bottle I made, That's I have fatty things. Oh, there we go. There we go. Maybe I should just put it up here. And the last juice of grape. It's not that much, but a little, to just give it a little sugary, just a little sweetness. There we go. And the stir. There we go. Oh, oops. Oh no. I have beet juice on the floor. Maybe I should just get something for that. 2 seconds. Oh. It's easy. There we go. And let's just put it in the fire. There we go. Uh-oh. I put it out. That's bad. Oh. Bum, 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 bum. There we go. Should be good enough. So it's really, I'm really full. That was really much heavy. I do wonder if they needed to have the staff in the hand and, eating with one hand. It can be a little difficult, I'm not sure if he's just using it as an expression or actually, because it has to be fixed out then, if you're going to eat it without, with one hand. And that seems to, if you need to eat it in a hurry, it seems to be a little harder, or a lot harder if you only have one hand to actually do it. Oh, See? There we go. It just said that it was charging slowly, but that's not any surprise when it's recording, you know. Oh, I still see the yeah. Oh, I should probably put something on, but it's a little hot. Anyway, maybe I should take a break from the eating and maybe we should take some reading. Let's see. Where did we go? See here. Wow, I'm full. I'm so full. Okay. So this is Exodus or Shemot 11. Let's just have something here. Okay. And Jehovah said to Moshe, I am bringing yet one more plague on Pharaoh and on Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim is Egypt. After that, he is going to let you go from here. When he lets you go, he shall drive you out from here altogether. You know, I do wonder, you know, if they ate and all that after but maybe they ate before midnight and, you know, but you know, I guess it could be in regards of when Jehovah said that they should have the staff in the hand and in regards of the sandals and all that. Maybe he was talking like, you know, be ready to move, you know, be ready to move out, you know, something like that. I don't know, but again, it seems a little. When he lets you, okay. One more plague on Pharaoh and on Mitzrayim. After that, he is going to let you go from here, you know, Pharaoh. When he lets you go, he shall drive you out from here altogether. Speak now in the hearing of the people, and let every man ask from his neighbor, and every woman from her neighbor, objects of silver and objects of gold. And Jehovah gave the people favor in the eyes of the Mitzrites, that's the Egyptians. And the man Moshe was very great in the land of Mitzrayim, that is Egypt. And in the eyes of Pharaoh's servants and in the eyes of the people, 2 seconds. And Moshe said, thus said Jehovah, about midnight. So about midnight, that's around where in regards to the Roman calendar, changed the day. So that's around 12 o'clock. So about midnight, I'm going, of course, that would probably depend a little in regards to when it begins dark, but it would be the middle of the night, you know. I am going out into the midst of Mitzrayim. So, and Moshe said, thus said Jehovah, about midnight, I am going out into the midst of Mitzrayim. So Jehovah is saying, I am going out in the midst of Mitzrayim. It's just a good point, because later on we see, you know, it might be interesting, you know, I might be pointing out in regards to the link, I guess. And all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim shall die. Again, Mitzrayim is Egypt. From the firstborn of Pharaoh who sits on his throne, even to the firstborn of the female servant who is behind the handmill, and all the firstborn of the cattle. So all the firstborn in Egypt is going to die, except those that have the blood around the door. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Mitzrayim, such as has never been or ever be again. But against any of the children of Israel, no dog shall move its tongue. I guess in regards, maybe it's something in regards of no dog shall bark against the. I guess it's some kind of saying, you know. But anyway, no dog shall move its tongue against man or against beast, so that you know that Jehovah makes distinction between the Mitzrayim and Israel. So, you know, you might say that, you know, God is a so-called racist. If you know, as in regards of, you know, apparently there's a difference between the Egyptians and the Israelites. Now, maybe a racist might not be the right word to use, but, you know, I guess racism is in regards of hate, right? So maybe I'm wrong in regards of using that word, but he does make a difference, you know, between the Egyptians and the Israelites. So again, maybe it's a bad word in regards of, I don't know in regards to the definition of racist, if it could be in regards of preferring one more than another because of their race. But, you know, here he says that Jehovah makes distinction between the Mitzrayim and Israel. So he makes distinction, and that's, you know, I do wonder in regards of when, you know, Israel has come back to the country nowadays, and, you know, if God didn't want them there, they would not be there, you know. So I can't see how God couldn't have a hand in getting the Israelites back to the land, you know. That seems, you know, what is it called, preposterous, because, you know, God has his eyes on that part of the land, or that land, and, you know, he has shown him more than capable of taking the Israelites out of the land if he didn't want them in that land. But it seems he actually wants them in the land. We also have many stories which, you know, when you read the Bible and listen to these stories, it just seems like the fingerprint of God is working. And again, even if the whole world went up against Israel, well, if God wants them there, no one can move them. You know, God will fight for them, you know. It's already been done in the past, you know. If God wants them there, he can just send an angel and destroy the enemies of Israel. Again, it doesn't matter if the whole world wants to remove Israel from the map. If God wants them there, they're going to stay there. Anyway, so let's see. So in any case, you know that Jehovah makes distinction between the Mitzrayim and Israel. Oh, so that you know that Jehovah makes distinction between Mitzrayim and Israel. And all these servants of yours shall come down to me and bow down to me, saying, Get out, you and all the people at your feet, and after that I shall go out. Oh, let's see it. Let's try that again. And all these servants of yours shall come down to me and bow down to me. So bow down to me, okay, bow down to me, saying, Get out, you and all your people at your feet. And after that I shall go out. And after that I shall go out. And after that I shall go out where? And he went out from the... I'm just trying to figure out what is going on here. Maybe it's because I've been eating too much food here. I'm a little slow, and it gets a little painful standing up here all the time. Anyway, let's see. But against any of the children of Israel, no dog shall move its tongue, against man or against beast, so that you know that Jehovah makes distinction between Mitzrayim and Israel. And all these servants of yours shall come down to me and bow down to me, saying, Get out, you and all your people Okay, and all these servants of yours shall come down to me and bow down to me, saying, Get out, you and all the people at your feet. So they're coming to him and bowing down to me. I guess that would still be Yehovah, right? So they're bowing down and then they're saying, Get out, you and all the people at your feet. So that would be the Israelites, I guess. The people as at Yehovah's feet, I guess. And after that, so after, I guess, the Israelites have said, go. And after that, that would be Yehovah, right? Shall go out. I think so. We have a problem here. I'll drop the oil lamp. I might be wrong in regards oy vey, as they say in Hebrew, right? Oy vey, oy vey. Oy vey. Whew. Yeah, that's really oy vey. My stomach is just totally full. I'm feeling like I'm nearly exploding, like yesterday as well. Really feeling full for sure. Whoo. Yeah, and I'm fat as well, I really need to drop some kilos, So anyway, I see here, and make distinction between Mitzrayim and Israel, and all these servants of yours. It's funny because it seems like that he's turning around in regards of the Egyptians being his servants. All these servants of yours shall come down to me and bow down to me, saying, Get out! Oh. Or is it actually talking? No, let's see here. And Moshe said, Thus said Jehovah, about midnight I am going out into the midst of Mitzrayim. And all the first, so this is Jehovah talking, right? And all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sits on his throne, even to the firstborn of the female servant who is behind the handmill, and all the firstborn of cattle. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Mitzrayim, such as has never been or ever be again. I guess it's still Jehovah talking, right? Or it's slow charging or something like that. Okay. Again. But against any of the children of Israel, no dog shall move its mouth or move its tongue. Against man or against beast, so that you know that Jehovah makes distinction between Mitzrayim and Israel. And all these servants of yours, again, I would think it's still Jehovah talking, right? Anyway, and all these servants of yours, so I guess it's the Israelites that have servants in regards of the Egyptians, so it's turning a little, opposite, I guess. And all these servants of yours shall come down to me, and bow down to me, saying, and again to me, that must be Jehovah, right? I'm trying the best that I can, and bow down to me, saying, Get out, you and all the people at your feet. So again, I'm guessing they are saying the Israelites, which are apparently the Israelite servants now here in regards of from this angle. That Jehovah is saying, they will come to me and bow down and they will say, Get out, you and your people at your feet. Get out of the land of Israel. Out of Mitzrayim, Egypt. Get out of Egypt, They had enough of all these plagues and all that, and Pharaoh had enough and all that. I guess it could be maybe, again, I'm still learning and all that stuff. But anyway, And bow down to me, saying, get out, you and all the people at your feet. And after that, I shall go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in great displeasure. Oh. And he went out from Pharaoh. I do wonder in regards of if it's and all, no, maybe, okay, maybe he's talking, all these servants of yours shall come down to me. Maybe it's in regards of the servants of the Egyptians, maybe it's actually Moses talking. It seems we have Moses and we have Jehovah, maybe I'm getting this wrong, maybe it's actually the servants of the Pharaoh, because it's, and after that I shall go out. I wonder that might actually be Moses then instead of Jehovah. But he says, and Moses has tried to take a little, and Jehovah said to Moshe, I'm taking from the beginning. Maybe I should sit down here just a little here just to, let's try again here. Okay, and let's see if we can get a little room here. Oh, yeah, that was a little better. Hello. I probably need to speak up here to be able to, it should be possible. And Jehovah said to Moshe, I am bringing yet one more plague on Pharaoh and on Mitzrayim. After that, he is going to let you go from here. When he lets you go, he shall drive you out from here altogether. Speak now in the hearing of the people, and let every man ask from his neighbor, and every woman from her neighbor, objects of silver and objects of gold. And Jehovah gave the people favor in the eyes of the Mitzrites. And the man Moshe was very great in the land of Mitzrayim, in the eyes of Pharaoh's servants. So again, it might be, but Pharaoh's servants, and in the eyes of the people. And Moshe said, thus said Jehovah, about midnight I am going out into the midst of Mitzrayim. And all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sits on his throne, even to the firstborn of the female servants who is behind the handmill, and all the firstborn of cattle. And there shall be a great cry throughout the land of Mitzrayim, such as has never been or ever be again. I do wonder, was it not actually the firstborn males? Maybe not. Just says firstborn. So I do wonder if it's also, but I thought there was something in regards of only being firstborn males. Anyway, but just says firstborn here. Maybe there's some more details other places. Anyway, firstborn of the handmill, and all the firstborn of cattle. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Mitzrayim, such as had never been or ever be again. And against any of the children of Israel no dog shall move its tongue, against man or against beast, so that you know that Jehovah makes distinction between Mitzrayim and Israel. And all these servants of yours shall come down to me. So I guess maybe it's flipping from Moses speaking on behalf of Jehovah to actually then be speaking to Pharaoh, I guess, and that might be a possibility. And all these servants of yours, then it might be the servants of the Pharaoh, right? Because we saw Pharaoh's servants up here. So, and all these servants of yours shall come down to me. So that might actually be Moses. That's, an option. And bow down to me, but, I don't know. It might be one or the other. Even either it's Moses or it's Jehovah. I'm trying, anyway. and all these servants of yours shall come down to me and bow down to me, saying, Get out, you and all the people at your feet. And after that, I shall go out. I do wonder, it might be Moses, in regards of, but I do wonder in regards of, and he went out from Pharaoh in great displeasure. And he went out, I guess that must be Moses, right? But that's, maybe it's because of the chapter thing, maybe maybe I've missed something before the chapter because these chapters was not in the Bible, it's something that is inserted later on, and I can't remember the date. I can't remember the date, but I feel so full. Oh, see if we can. There we go. Okay. Let's see here. Well, it's I do wonder how it's totally, fixing, because it seems Moses have just talked with Pharaoh, and then in chapter 11, Jehovah said to Moses, or Moshe, so I do wonder a little in regards of how that's going on, But Jehovah said to Moshe, now let's see here. And all these servants of yours shall go down to me and bow down to me, saying, Get out, you and all the people at your feet. I think there can only be two options here at least, And after that I shall go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in great displeasure. I do wonder if it's actually connected with the chapter before, that he's actually still standing in front of Pharaoh at that point. But Jehovah is speaking to Moshe. I do wonder if it's actually talking about that he's still standing, but Jehovah is speaking to Moshe, but Moshe is still standing in front of Pharaoh. I do wonder how that works out. Maybe by the Spirit. Let's see here. So, and he went out from Pharaoh in great displeasure. But so it seems like he was still standing in front of Pharaoh from the last chapter. I'm not so sure. I need to reread and study how this works out. But Jehovah said to Moshe, Pharaoh is not going to listen to you in order to multiply my wonders in the land of Mizraim. And Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh. However, Jehovah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not let the children of Israel go out of his land. So, and then we are in chapter 12, in Exodus chapter 12, or Shemoth. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe and to Aaron in the land of Mitzrayim, saying, This month, that would be this month that we are in at the moment, this month, as far as the best that I can do, some keep Passover next month. We have something in regards of the Aviv in chapter 9:31 in regards of, and the flax in the body was smitten, for the body was in the head and the flax was in the bud. Again, but I'm not sure how long, how much time goes in regards from this last, from the last what was it? Plague, from the last plague to this plague. In regards of when the barley is in Aviv. Oh my. Oh man, I feel so stuffed. It's just, and there's so much food. Still, it's incredible. Oh, so much food. It's nearly criminal. Um, I probably should not have eaten, I should probably have skipped the food until anyway, let's see here. So, let's take from chapter 12. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe and to Aaron in the land of Mizraim, saying, this month is the beginning of month for you. It is the first month of the year for you. Now, whatever the case in regards of if we are keeping it this month or the next, is still a lot closer in regards of the spring, because the Roman calendar, they pretty much, are keeping it in regards of winter. By the way, I just saw a video of these, artifacts that people tend to, and he apparently had this cup that I think it was sold for $100,000 or something like that, but apparently this cup was the false god of Janus, with a face on both sides of the cup. And apparently this cup came from Persia 400 years before Christ. So that was very interesting. I'm not sure if the land probably was named something else, but they said it was I think it was from Persia. So here we see the god of Janus, the false god of Janus, which I guess the Romans just incorporated into their, things, and, now they keep the New Year of Janus in the winter, because they thought it was because he's looking behind and front and all that. Apparently that seems to be a good idea then to, but it's, it wouldn't be a surprise if it went from Persia to, Rome. Not a big surprise. Mystery Babylon the Great, the mystery religion of, the Romans, which pretty much everything that is, bad and paganism, just, it's like a sewage. Rome was like, where everything was going to this place. We have I've seen some good quotes on that, But anyway, so this month is the beginning of the month for you. It is the first month of the year for you. Speak to all the congregations of Israel, saying, on the 10th day of this month, each one of them is to take for himself a lamb. So on the 10th, a lamb, or the 10th of Aviv, which is the first month of the year, which is in spring, they are to take for themselves a perfect, spotless lamb, with no defects, and, set it aside for the 14th where it's going to be slain. Anyway, according to the house of, maybe I should actually zoom a little in, so I'm a little closer when I'm sitting. There we go. It's not much, but a little, It's, it's just a little bit closer, Not that it does that much because I'm sitting here, Anyway, wow, I'm fat. I'm really fat. I feel fat. I feel really fat. This month is the beginning of the month for you. It is the first month of the year for you. Speak to all the congregations of Israel on the 10th day of this month. Each one of them is to take for himself a lamb, according to the house of his father, a lamb for a household. And if the household is too small for the lamb, and again, I think it's Josephus talking about a lamb for around 10 or 20 people. I guess I'm not sure how big the lamb would be and so forward. I've heard they grow a lot in regards of the beginning, day to day. Like, I think it was half a kilo a day or something like that a lamb would grow. So I don't know how that works out, but Josephus talked about 10 to 20 people for a lamb, I think. So anyway, I guess the more experience you get, you get, more data points on that and can narrow it down. Anyway, let him and his neighbor next to his house take it according to the number of the beings. According to each man's need, you make your count for the lamb. So again, I guess some people eat more than others, yeah. I do wonder what it actually, usually I can pretty much just continue to eating. I do wonder if it's maybe either the milk or the cheese that I've been eating, because yesterday I was so full as well, and I ate eggs as well, but eggs and this yogurt and cheese, in combination. It might be the thing that actually is making me feel so full, and feeling like I'm breaking nearly, yeah, okay. Because I ate earlier, and I should probably not have eaten these things earlier, because, I already, had a meal for, yeah. So that was probably stupid. I'm really, Anyway, so let the lamb be a perfect one, a year-old male. And again, I'm not sure in regards to the year-old male, because does that include in regards to the last year? Or how does that work out? Is it just a newborn? Because if you're counting the birthdays from the new year, then it has to be a new lamb from that part of time, right? Because, or maybe it actually just have to be a lamb from the year before, and that would of course be a lot bigger than a lamb, right? I don't know. I still have some have some investigation in regards to that, how that would work out. Would it be a lamb, or would it be a lamb that is a year old? Because I guess it's not a year old when it's just had been born, right? Or is it? That's a good question. No, that would be 0, right? And then the birthday, then it's 1 year old. So if this is like, there's a lot of things I'm still having, trouble with. So let the lamb be a perfect one, a year-old male. Again, if it's a year-old male, I would guess it would be a lamb actually from yesteryear, because it has to be a year old, right? And if the so-called birthday, it hasn't rounded, you're not 1 year old, are you? You're 0 years old. I don't know. It's just, And I'm trying to find out because it doesn't seem like they actually kept birthdays, in regards of Jews. And we have some Christian sources also talking about that birthdays was a pagan thing. And of course, if God actually counted the years from the spring of the first, from spring in regards to the first if everybody had their birthday in some sense at the new year, then of course the pagan traditions of keeping it at exactly this point and all that, and it seems to have a connection also to astrology and in regards to the stars and all that, so you can lay out your whole life and all this, and that's paganism and all that, and superstition. But if God actually counts from the new year and this lamb should be a 1-year-old male, well, then it had to be a lamb from last year, I guess, and not one of these newborn. And again, that would of course be bigger. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, I'm still, it's I don't know. Something to, and that, I guess, the more we narrow down and find out and nail, put a nail in the coffin in some sense, the more nails we, can bang down in the coffin, I guess, or, the more things we can get straight, the less, we can look on some of the other things, right? So let the lamb be a perfect one, a year-old male. Take it from the sheep or from the goats. I really feel like I'm like in regards of when I kept Christ Mass, in my younger days, and you eat like you're nearly blowing up, I feel like that at the moment, and I do wonder what is actually doing that, Because, if you, for example, are eating fruit and vegetables, you can eat now, you can eat the whole day and you'll really feel full, But, I really feel full now and it's, really, really full. Again, I do wonder what it is that makes me feel so full. Because, usually, I can pretty much eat a lot, and I never feel full, but I really feel full now. Anyway, let the lamb be a perfect one, a year-old male. Take it from the sheep or from the goats. So it has to be a year-old male, but again, it's a firstborn. It's a firstborn lamb, a year old. I would not think so. It is only 0 years, right? So if it has to be a 1-year-old, I would think it would be from last year. And that would of course be a little bigger than Josephus says a lamb is like 10 to 20 people. It could be interesting to see how much, a lamb could feed a family, or how much, a 1-year-old lamb could feed, in regards of how many people. Maybe that would, I don't know if it would fit the other or the, I don't know. And you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. So you can take it either from the sheep or a goat. So you're allowed to also take a goat if you have a goat instead, just take a goat, that could be interesting as well, right? And you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. A goat is also a clean animal. I'm not sure, I don't think I ever tasted goat. Anyway. And you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. Then all the assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it between the evenings. And as a little in regards to the evenings, if it's actually in regards of the beginning of the evening and the last part of the evening, or if it's in regards of the day, in regards to the 14th, from the evening to evening in regards of a day, because the day started evening. You have, you have like, I think it was, oh my, I think I'll have to, I think it's going to go to the place where I end up on the toilet throne. I can feel that it's not really, it might be heading in that direction. Leviticus 23. Boom, 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 boom. Numbers, no. Is it actually no. That should be just after then. Leviticus 23. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That was for example, in regards of, this is in regards of the 10th day of the Day of Atonement, and it's, in regards of, this is from chapter Leviticus chapter 23, and it's 23:32. It is a Shabbat of rest to you, and you shall afflict your beings on the 9th day of the month at evening. From evening to evening, you observe your Sabbath, and we know it's in regards to the 10th day. So, in regards of evening to evening is the day. So, in regards of slaying the Passover, I do wonder if it's in regards of the evening, in regards of the, this, or if it's in regards of the evening and the evening. It could be, some say it's in regards of what's like from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock or something like that, in regards of evening to evening, something like that. And, but, maybe it could be in regards to the evening from the starting of the 14 to the end of the 14. I don't know. But it's eaten at the 15, so yeah. Oh, I think I'm getting there in regards of needing to run, and of course the battery can, I can get a break from the mobile, because well, then I'll probably, can eat some more, I guess, if I get some out. So let's see. Where did we go to? And you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and then all the assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it between the evenings. And they shall take some of the blood and put it on the 2 doorposts and on the lintel, so that around the door they put the blood. Actually, I haven't done that. My bad in regards of, but that's, that would be something one should do, around the lintel. Oh my. I think it's time for a break, let's see, let's see here, the door point, I'm over here, so I'll just make a mark here. And I'll just leave you for a while. Of course, it's going a lot quicker on the video because I'm just, my stomach. I think it's time for the toilet throne. Oh, well, I'll be right back. Oh, there we go. Again, zooming a little more in than it actually has in the beginning. That was a good trip. It was really, did I? Yeah, I closed it. Okay. I'm telling you, that was, yeah. Well, that was nice. It was very relieving. Yeah. So, I'll guess, in an hour or something like that, I'm probably going to be, maybe 2 hours, going to be hungry again, I'll guess. And I'll just see how it goes, There's still a lot of food on the table. I just can't get it. At the moment I'm just totally full, still. It was really relieving to go on the toilet. That was very emptying. So I absolutely feel better now. But yeah, I still feel pretty full, but it absolutely made it better. So let's see where we were. Yeah, we were up here or something like that. And they shall take some of the blood and put it on the two doorposts and on the lintel of the houses where they eat it. I pretty much have not done that. I'm not sure what my neighbors would say if I did it. They would probably, I don't know. But it would be a great sign in regards to when Passover is. And did I have some? Actually, I had some. I'm not sure if it was blood as such, but it was red. From the meat when I fixed it out. I emptied in the. I could actually have taken that and taken a brush and gone down and actually just I'm not. I actually think the round is probably red already. But that would actually have been a possibility in regards to the meat, just to take some of the blood and fix it on the. But it's still. Yeah, I pretty much. Yeah, that could have been done at least. So anyway, so that's one of the things that should be done, right? And they shall take some of the blood and put it on the doorpost and on the lintel of the houses where they eat. And they shall eat the flesh on that night, roasted in fire. So again, I do wonder in regards to roasted in fire how that works out. If as I understand in regards to the Samaritans, I think they wait till it's actually cold, and then they have like this stick in regards to the earth, and they put them down there and just roast the whole lamb in that way. But I think the fire is pretty much gone out of that part. But I haven't been down there. I've just seen a documentary about it. So, but it says roasted in fire. I do wonder in regards of, do we actually have to have live fire then? Then I probably should have roasted it earlier. I'll put it on the, when there was still a little light in it. I don't know. I don't know if that is the case. Roasted in fire. I don't know. With unleavened bread, that's the unleavened bread we have here, for example. Unleavened bread, without leaven, it hasn't, just piece of bread. With unleavened bread, and I guess we call them something else, but at least in English, Danish, I would guess they also called something in the Hebrew. The English. Oh, I'm so far off. Anyway, with unleavened bread and with bitter herbs. Here we have the bitter herbs. I would like to check in regards to it, because you never know. Sometimes people are just way off, and it seems like Satan is trying to make confusion a lot of times. You end up in these, weird theories where you then need to go back and check if what the person says is true or not. And there's a lot of times where the things is just not true, and it's just sometimes I guess you make mistakes, and I've made mistakes in the past, and I'm probably going to make mistakes in the future. So one have always to read the Bible for himself to, and grow in that, because we, I guess most of us, if not all, make mistakes, but trying to get a little closer to the truth. So anyway, and they shall eat the flesh on that night, roasted in fire with unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. So with bitter herbs they shall eat it. I guess one could also put some bitter herbs on the sheep itself. I don't know if that is the... And they shall eat the flesh on that night, roasted in fire with unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. So we have roasted meat in regards to the lamb, or goat. You know, a goat could be interesting as well. And again, it says 1 year old. So I still do wonder if I'm going by the 1 year old, and it actually changes from 0 to 1 in regards of the year, in regards to the new year, instead of different places. You know, and it would also make sense how to calculate how old the world is if they actually did that. And I heard from someone that they actually did that with horses, but that was in regards, I think, in regards to the pagan New Year. That even if a horse was just born the day before New Year, it would just be 1 year old, you know, the next day. Because of New Year, because they're counting it like that. I think it was in regards of horses. So would it be a surprise if it actually also was, you know, we don't really see the Israelites really keeping these birthdays. It seems to me that it might be the case that the years was, flipping at the New Year. I would like more witnesses, but for example, Noah, in regards of the flood and all that, he's like 600 years before the flood and 601 after the flood. And then you see after the flood is, very close to the new year. So you just have to wonder, I could of course have been other places where it flips. I'm not sure if there's more witnesses in the Bible in regards of it. But we also have Jewish sources that says that it flips at New Year. They have they have that tradition in regards to the 7 month where they then flip it, or they flip it in regards of the Passover at the spring, which is the true New Year. So it seems there is some, what you would say, going back in Jewish history that they actually did that. So that was very interesting, supporting the idea that I saw in the Bible. I think I got it, because I was looking at it. I was wondering in regards to that. I think it was by reading the Bible I got into that and found the sources in regards, of Jewish, by someone that had done research on it, just on birthdays in general. And he also had these sources from Jewish sources. I think it was there anyway. I think it was there. Any case. And that's then of course makes sense why the Christians would say it was, when you go and look into birthdays and all that, and there's, books in regards of how it relates to paganism as well. And if you don't really see it commanded in the Bible, it's, and if the Jews actually already had a way of doing it from the New Year, well, then the problem also, if you don't do it by the New Year, then you have a problem in regards of counting the numbers from from Adam to so forth and so forth and so forth. But if they actually counted it from the New Year every time, if a son was born and they just counted his birthday from the New Year, so-called birthday, flipping the year it would be, if you had the right numbers in the Bible, you would then get to I don't know what the mobile was saying, but it was saying something. Then you would get to then we would get the right number of the year from creation if we have the right numbers. But if you count it from the day, the so-called day, because they're following the sun calendar, and that's not the same as the biblical calendar. And and again, in regards of going back to, you're born this day and this time and that, and then they can, you have, in regards to the stars and whatever, and you have the star signs and all that. paganism. It's all paganism. So anyway, and they shall eat the flesh on that night, roasted in fire with unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. We have bitter herbs. Oh. Bitter herbs. Do not eat it raw, so we are not allowed to eat it raw in regards to this. I'm not sure how much they, but do not eat it raw, nor boil at all, so we are not to boil it with water. No, it's a no-go. But roasted in fire. I guess roasted in fire could also be in regards of the coals, Anyway, its head with its legs and its inwards part. So you have the head you roast the whole lamb, and the inwards parts. And the inwards parts this is the inwards parts, right? That's the kidneys, the hearts, and the liver and all of that. I would think that would be considered the inwards parts, So, yeah. Still pretty hard. Sadly, it's getting, it's cold now. Again, one of the good things with eating inwards parts, is in regards of, got good nutrition, I saw some kind of food where that looked really good, from chickens, where they had only the, what is it called? The hard stuff in regards to the, you have the bones and then you have the thing on the top. It looked pretty delicious. I think it could be pretty, tasty. And that might also help the body in regards to one's joints and all that, I would guess. It seems there's like 26 hours in regards to the things I'm making in the kitchen. So I'll give it 48 hours and then I'll see how it goes. It might be too much in regards to 48 hours, but I'll look in regards to how it looks after it. And, you can see afterwards when you have made a broth, you can still see if there's still some, is it called gelatin? It might actually be called gelatin, and I'm not sure. But the thing is, or maybe gelatin is something else, or I'm not entirely sure. But the thing is, you can see if there's still something on the bones, afterwards. I guess one could actually just, reuse them, I guess, in some sense, to another batch. But, yeah. I'm not sure. But it would be nice to get it all right in the first. I'm not sure in regards of the thing is that it still fixes space and all the, yeah. So, and they shall eat the flesh on that night, roasted in fire with unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Do not eat it raw nor boiled at all with water, but roast it in fire, its head with its legs and its inwards parts. And again, the inwards parts, Now, of course, well, not of course, but I'm not eating a whole lamb and all that. I'm just one person as well, so I can't really, and I would be pretty eating a whole lamb, So, do not eat it raw nor boiled at all with water, but roast it in fire, its head with its legs and its inwards parts. And do not leave of it until morning. So everything has to be done away in the morning. So everything I have here on the platter or the plate has to be done away, either eaten or done away. So, bon appetit, I guess. That's a lot of liver still. Liver. I think it was around 600 grams of liver, but and that might have been a little too much. I might have, but anyway, it's just, I'll guess better, I've had a pretty good meal for sure, That's, I'm not, a pretty good meal. Anyway, do not eat it raw nor boil it all with water, but roast it in fire. Its head with its legs and its inwards parts. It would be, salt in regards to where they roasted. No, not roasted. They boiled, I think. I think it's more like it. A lamb head, and it might, there might be some good nutrition in that as well. It didn't look that bad after it was actually made, but it is still a job, for sure to go. One thing is to eat kidneys and liver and hearts and all that. Another thing is to eat a head, and do not leave it of it until morning, and what remains of it until morning you are to burn with fire. So whatever is left, you need to burn it with fire. Again, I guess it would have been easier in the old days because you're probably having, heating in the house with fire in regards of, what is it called in English? Not sure. Where you use, whatever coal or, well, I'm not sure if they use coal in those days, but or knew how to. But trees and maybe actually some dried poop from animals, or to make the heat. They didn't have what we have, like electricity to make heat and all. Or, and they probably used in regards of it. They probably had a fireplace. I would guess. And if they had a fireplace inside, it would be easy to burn the things. Just throw it in the fireplace. It's a little harder nowadays when we don't have that, or most of us anyway, I guess. I don't actually know how many percent actually have one, or have some kind of where they could do it, because you're not allowed to go outside. So I guess it would still be inside the house, or it's again, have a fireplace, somewhere, because again, you need to have some heating in the house, right? And do not leave it of it until morning, and what remains of it until morning you are to burn with fire. And this is how you eat it: your loins girded and sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. So this is how you eat it: your loins girded. I do wonder if that is in regards of actually hewing up and fixing it around you and making a knot, so you're ready to actually, run in some sense. If you look on Google and search on Gurgle on your loins, you can see drawings of it where they take the dress and gird the dress, so you can actually easily use it to work and all that. I guess it becomes more like pants at that point, actually. I haven't tried it in real life or anything, but it could be interesting to try, I guess, and I'll have to look on that as well again, because, I guess you would actually be able to ride a bike if you actually did it, I guess. It's something to try out. It's a little hard to ride a bike, in a kilt, which is very comforting in regards of, if you're walking in a kilt, you get the airflow going down there, which is, very nice. But I guess, a long dress, or what is it called? I'm not sure, would probably also be refreshing on the, I don't know, but a kilt is very, I've tried to bike in a kilt and it's not really working very good. I did that a couple of years ago, I think, to try it out to see if it could help to get some airflow down there. And it absolutely does give airflow, but biking, that's not really good. Maybe some of the more expensive kilts. I just had one to try out. So actually it's laying over there. I still have it. Now I'm too fat to wear it, but uh, and I guess it seems a little, in our days, it seems a little girly, I guess, in some sense. But you can really get some kills that really looks like male kills, with tools and all that, and things you can put on and all that. It makes it a little more manly. Because usually, but of course, the women don't really go in beautiful dresses anymore. So it's just all confusion everywhere in regards of. But a kilt is actually, you have a female version and a male version. So it's um, and of course the dresses, I guess, in the old days where they walked in regards of it. Well, some still do go. The Mohammedans, for example, you see them go with them. I guess those are the ones that you really usually see go with these. And it seems like the Jews also did that in the past. Anyway, it's. But if you're good, and of course that's in regards to the girding up your loins, so it actually makes, what seems like, in some sense, pants. So I guess you would actually be able to bicycle in that. I haven't tried it, but yeah, it's something to try out, because it could be nice to actually have such a dress. Um, it could be interesting to try out for sure. And see if it also gives the airflow at the bottom. But it's of course not that normal for men to do. But people will probably think you're Mohammedan or something like that. But it would be, if it gives some airflow, it would be, and it wouldn't be, the problem with the kilt, at least the one that I had. And the biggest problem was in regards to bicycling because you could see stuff in some sense. Now, of course, having underpants on, but if you hadn't gotten any underpants on, it would be, and you shouldn't be able to show yourself in regards to that, right? So, if you had more like a longer version, you would be, people wouldn't be able to see anything, and if you could actually gird up your loins and still use it for a bicycle, that would be great. That would be awesome. I'll have to look into that. Could be very nice. Hmm. Yeah, I do wonder. Actually, a great idea, maybe in regards of. Ah, I wonder how it would work. I wonder if one could actually work in it. You know, hmm. If one made a like a special version and like where a belt could also be as well. No. I guess I'm getting some more ideas, but the thing is, I have so many things here and there. Um, so, but interesting idea. Hmm. I should probably write it down or something like that. Mm-hmm. Oh, um, yep. Let's see. Do not eat it raw nor boiled at all with water, but roast it in fire its head with its leg and its inwards parts. And then do not leave it until morning, and what remains of it until morning you are to burn with fire. And this is how you eat it: your loins girded and your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and they shall eat it in haste. It is the Pesach, or Passover, of Jehovah. And I shall pass through the land. Okay, who is going to pass through the land? Well, and that would be Jehovah, wouldn't it? I shall pass through the land of Mitzrayim on that night. And again, the question is in regards to me over the other. I still don't know if it's the one or the other. But we talk about, we had this in regards of Moshe said, thus said Jehovah, about midnight, I am going out into the midst of Mitzrayim. So Jehovah is saying, about midnight, I am going out into the midst of Mitzrayim. So Jehovah is going into the midst of, Egypt. So, and I shall pass through the land of Mitzrayim on that night, and shall smite all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim. Well, it doesn't. I wouldn't think it would be Moses, right? It would be Jehovah. Both man and beast. So, and I shall pass through the land of Mitzrayim on that night, and shall smite all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both man and beast, and all the mighty ones of Mitzrayim. I shall execute judgment. And who is the judge of the world, by the way? That's God, right? And what does he say? I am Jehovah. So, he goes through Israel and slays the firstborns. I still do wonder in regards of over here. I'll just set a question mark in regards to that and look into that. Maybe the Hebrew will show something, because either it's Moses or maybe it's Jehovah talking here. I think I got it wrong first time, but I don't still not know. It seems to be, and all these servants of yours, it could be talking about the servants of Pharaoh. Shall come down to me, there could be Moses, and bow down to me, saying, get out, you and all the people at your feet. It could absolutely be Moses, that the Egyptians are coming to Moses and saying, you and all the people at your feet, get out! We don't want you here anymore with all these plagues, But yeah, it's just one way. And after that, I shall go out. And again, it could be Moses, but again, it was still talking about in line 4, and Moses said, thus said Jehovah, about midnight I am going out into the midst of Mitzrayim, and all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim shall die. So here we see in regards of Jehovah says in regards of midnight, which is actually I think it's actually midnight now, right? Let's see. Yeah, it's a little over 12 o'clock. So I guess we are in the midnight at the moment. And that would be the time where Jehovah would have gone out, and destroyed the firstborn. But again, Moses is saying Jehovah says, and the question is, when does that stop, and when does Moses begin to speak? And again, maybe there's something in the Hebrew again that might, or maybe I just need to reread, a couple of times to find out if there's. But it could absolutely be Moses here, yeah. And that seems to make more sense, because, and all these servants of yours shall come down to me and bow down to me, saying, get out. The servants of Pharaoh, I think. Yeah, that's. But again, the question is, where does it then stop? Maybe it's, because he has to stop somewhere. Then if it's actually Moses now speaking, because he says that Jehovah says, right? Moses said, "Thus said Jehovah," and again, the question is, where does that stop? Where does we know the beginning of it. The question is, where does it stop? Yeah. Anyway. Let's just go on. "And I shall pass through the land of Mitzrayim on that night, and shall smite all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both man and beast, and all the mighty ones of Mitzrayim I shall execute judgment. I am Jehovah." Of course, the judge of the world, right? And who is the judge of the world? Isn't it Yeshua? All judgment had been given to who? The Son, who is Yeshua, right? Who was Abraham talking to? The man Jehovah. Well, who's the man Jehovah? Wouldn't it be Yeshua? No one has seen God, yet God can be seen. Well, what did Yeshua say? Well, no one has seen the Father but the Son. But we have seen the Son, right? And some see God, yet God cannot be seen. So what is going on? Well, maybe because we have the Father and the Son, and then it all makes sense. Because, either scripture conflict, or maybe there's something going on that we have to find out. And maybe it actually fits perfectly when we actually just look more into it. Anyway, "And I shall pass through the land of Mitzrayim on that night, and shall smite all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both man and beast." And again, I guess in regards of man, I do wonder what it actually is in Hebrew, but it seems like it's the firstborn, and it doesn't, I'm not sure it's only the male, the firstborn males, but I thought there was something where they, and also in regards of the television programs where it's always the firstborn male. I think you read it all the time. So I wonder if it's somewhere else it actually says it's only the males and not the women. The firstborn, isn't it? I have to, find, if there's some, because I remember it as it's like only the boys, only the first, or only the firstborn of males. But again, as far as I can see, it just says in regards to the firstborn, So both man and beast, and again, I would look into what the Hebrew word actually is here, in regards of if it's like maybe Adam or something like that, or or if it's actually Ish as man, but I guess the woman could still be included. Something to research. There's always things to research. Anyway, both man and beast, and all the mighty ones of Mitzrayim, I shall execute judgment. I am Jehovah. "And the blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood," who is that? Isn't that Jehovah? When Jehovah, it's God, right? "When I see the blood, I shall pass over you." Pass over you. The Passover lamb. So he passes over you. So he doesn't judge, the people living inside the houses that have the blood of the lamb all around the door, And the book of Revelation talking about that they defeated Satan by the blood of the lamb, right? We are in the houses, "And when I see the blood, I shall pass over you, and that the plague not come on you, to destroy you when I smite the land of Mitzrayim. And this day shall come to you a remembrance, and you shall observe it as a festival to Jehovah. Okay, a festival. This is one of the festivals. Throughout your generations, observe it as a festival, an everlasting law. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Indeed, on the first day you cause leaven to cease from your houses. And as I understand it, that is in regards of leavened bread. It's not in regards of all things that, they were drinking wine. In regards of Yeshua, it seems like he was drinking wine, right? Some believe it was actually just grape juice, but again, it depends of, could they actually have gotten grapes at that point? In the beginning of the year, would there actually have been any grapes to make grape juice? And they had to preserve it at some point. So, and he was also known as a what do we call it? Wine bibber or wine drinker or something like that. And if they could actually point him out as like someone drinking wine and all that. Seems like he must have been drinking some wine, right? I don't know, but yeah, it just seems possible, right? If they were accusing him, now of course they had false accusing of him as well, but at least they were accusing him for being someone drinking wine, so a wine bibber or something. I think that was in regards to the translation. Can't remember what, but anyway. So, and if that was the case, well, wine is fermented, right? So, it depends, it has, of course, many options and all that, but, but I hit into one of these that said, oh, you need to take everything that is fermented out of your house, everything, everything that is fermented out of your house. But I don't think that's the case. It's just only the bread in regards of fermenting the bread and all that. As far as I understand it, anyway, at this point. Because again, I remember looking into it and I found in regards to the Hebrew words, it's actually was in regards of direct word in regards of this, Anyway. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Indeed, on the first day you cause leaven to cease from your houses. For who, in regards to being in Israel, I don't remember them removing all the things that was fermented either, And again, you're still drinking wine at Passover. You're getting we got a little glass of wine, just a small minor thing. I think not. I need to remember. I think we had wine when we did the Passover, but there was no lamb or no goat. There was chicken. Just horrible, absolutely horrible. But I think there was wine in regards of. My memory is a little rusty. Sorry about that, but I think there was wine at the Passover, which doesn't seem to be As far as I understand it, again, it's only in regards of leavened bread. So leavened bread, that was pretty much, there was some that actually, didn't care about it. But we have one law for both the stranger and the Jew, right? So anyway, for whoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that being shall be cut off from Israel. So it seems to be, at least in regards of, it seems to be pretty seriously, right? If you eat something that is not unleavened bread, you want to pretty much to be cut off. And that's bad. That's really bad. So, yeah. And on the first day is the Kodesh gathering. That would be today. And we're not really gathered with much, but there's not that many actually keeping the Sabbath today. I the Passover today. I'm not sure how many Christians in Denmark are actually doing that. I may be the only one in Denmark. I don't know that actually keeps it today. So but I'm sure it will grow. And have to start one place, right? And and better stand alone than stand with all those that are wrong, right? And on the seventh day, you have a Kodesh gathering. So I guess these gatherings would probably be in regards of synagogues or the meeting houses, where you could read scripture and all that. It just seems to be the places where they were meeting up, the houses of meeting. Have a Kodesh gathering. No work at all is done on them. So no work today, regards of if you're working as a policeman or electrician or whatever you're working at, no work, no work on these days. And these high Sabbats, which are Sabbats in themselves, can be on any day in the week. They don't necessarily is in regards of the weekly Sabbath. So there can be, more Sabbats in a week. You can have a Passover Sabbath and a Sabbath of the week. That's 2 Sabbats in a week. And I think that's the reason why many people believe that Yeshua was executed on a Friday, because it says it was the day before Passover, the day before the Sabbath. Well, the Sabbath or the Passover itself, which is the first day of unleavened bread, is a Sabbath, and that can lay any day of the week. So, you see, as far as I can see, it doesn't work with Friday. How can you get 3 days and 3 nights out of Friday to Sunday morning? You can't. And if you go the other way, you are missing a day also, because you have the 10th, where he was riding in on the donkey, which is the 10th of Aviv, yet you say he was, they call it Palm Sunday. They like Sunday a lot, the Antichrist seems to be totally wild on Sunday. In regards to the venerated sun god, Sol Invictus. Might have something to do with that, In any case, which is a pagan god in regards to the solar god. But anyway, but if you take the Sunday as the Palm Sunday, that would be the 10th of Aviv, right? I think it would, That's the day they take the lamb. We just read it in regards to the 10th of Aviv. Let's see here where it was. Let's see here. On the 10th day of this month, each one of them is to take for himself a lamb. So the 10th of Aviv, Yeshua is riding into Jerusalem, and he is inspected for 4 days. And on the 4th day, which is the 14th Aviv, he's slain. So, how do you count from Sunday to Friday, or Friday back to Sunday? It doesn't work. So you have one direction where it doesn't work. Now I know the priest out there tried to explain it and all that, but it's just, But then make them explain the other direction as well, Doesn't work. Either way you go, if you go this way, it doesn't work. If you go this way, it doesn't work. So maybe it's because it's wrong. So as far as I can see, he was by the way, if he was actually going into Jerusalem on a donkey on Sunday, the day before he was traveling, I think it was 25.75 kilometers from a city on a Sabbath. I don't think he would have been doing that, but anyway, traveling, a long distance on a Sabbath. He was going to the synagogue as his custom on the Sabbath, so it seems a little strange if he would actually be traveling like so far, I think. Anyway, so the best that I can do, if it seems to work if he actually was executed on a Wednesday, and thereby the Sabbath would be on Thursday, and then you have one day which is standard day where you still eat unleavened bread, and then you have the Sabbath. Yeah, so that pretty much it seems to work in both directions and all that. I'm not entirely sure when he was actually resurrected. It could have been either Saturday or Sunday in regards to the closing of Saturday or the beginning of Sunday. But we know the grave was empty Sunday morning. So that's as far as I can get it at this point. In any case, sometimes they help the translation, and it's just dishonest, In any case, let's see here. Then we get to okay, 7 days you eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day is a festival to Jehovah. Unleavened bread is to be eaten the 7th. Oh, what is this? Uh-oh, did I jump along here? Okay, I think I jumped a little too forward. And the blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are, and when I see the blood, I shall pass over you, that would be Jehovah, and let the plague not come on you to destroy you when I smite the land of Israel, when I smite the land of Israel. Smite the land of Mitzrayim or Egypt. Sorry, I don't know why I'm mixing. My brain apparently is not working. Always read your Bible for yourself. And check. I make mistakes as well. And sometimes when I look back on a video I made, I'm like, oh, ouch. Oh, I made a mistake there. It's just sorry. Even if I mean something, I may miss, I may say something else. I'm sorry. Sometimes it happens. It's my brain is not always working as I wanted, Anyway, so I smite the land of Mitzrayim, and this day shall become to you a remembrance. And I remember a song where it had become so, Satan looked like he had been into the works. But I found the original in regards of it was very interesting. Anyway, that's another. Anyway, let's go on. And you shall observe it as a festival to Jehovah throughout your generations. Observe it as a festival, an everlasting law. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. On the 1st you cause leaven to cease from your houses. For whoever eats leavened bread from the 1st day until the 7th day, that will be the 7th day, that being, I do wonder what that word is in Hebrew, I would think that maybe it's the word nefesh, but thereby I would translate it differently. And again, I guess, if you find issues in translations where like I wouldn't have translated that as such, But anyway, I would guess that this word is actually in the Hebrew nefesh, but something to check out at some point. And that's why I would like to, if I ever get to that point where I can do it, to make my own translation and try to make it as good as it, even the Danish, I would have liked to actually make a Danish version. But I guess if I make a Danish version, I could make the English version as well at the side. It wouldn't be, if I can understand, understand it translating it to Danish, I should be able to do a Danish, English as well. But in regards of, these things where it just seems, yeah, taking out the name of God, for example, that's no good, and some of the places here and there are removing things, like 1 John 5:7. Nearly all the Danish versions take out 1 John 5:7. That's just very sad. You nearly need to go 200 years back in the Danish translations before you actually find it, and then it's fixed in like brackets, and I think it should be there, but it's like things like that, and of course some things where you have one Hebrew word and they translate it to more words. And I'm like, if you have one Hebrew word and you can translate it to one single word in that in the language you're translating to, why not do that? Why translate it to so many different, words, instead of just keeping to one if you can, it doesn't make it easier for the person to actually go beyond the text. And I would like, if one could actually to also make it a Danish version where you can actually go behind the text as well. And I know there's not that many Danish people actually doing studies on the Bible and such, but even if one could make the tool available to those that wants to research and those that are maybe not that good to English, because there are English tools, but we don't have that many Danish in regard to this as far as I know. So and freely available, free, like free, so, but I don't even think we have something that actually costs money, either, while we actually can look behind the text, maybe in regards of both the Greek and the Hebrew. And again, I'm not sure how entirely, and maybe the Aramaic, I'm not sure how one could actually unite these things so it would be easy for the person to actually, and do research if they want to know how the Greek translated this Hebrew word or the Aramaic and so forth. And I actually think I need to go to the bathroom again, on the throne, it feels like it's pushing again. But, I've been eating a lot today as well. So, I'm sure there can come a good, good one out again. Yeah, it seems it's going in that direction, at least it feels like. So anyway, I'll see if how it it seems like it's going. Anyway, let me see. It lessened a little, so I'll see. Anyway, so and this day shall become to you a remembrance, and you shall observe it as a festival to Jehovah throughout your generation. Observe it as a festival and everlasting law. And this, of course, is a festival of Jehovah. It's one of these festivals of him that we tend to just skip. What are we keeping in the replacement of Passover, which in Denmark we actually, we call it in some sense. And I think the word we use actually comes from Passover, but I think there's another Danish word that actually would be better to use. But in English they also call it Easter, and Easter, as far as I understand, it goes back to sun worship. But I think I'm going to take a break because I need to go to the toilet again, and that's actually then I can. Get some more trash out of the body, it's always good, and I'll be right back. Running again, that was terrible, hurtful. I have to stop eating chili, Chili is just no go. It's not worth it, It's nice to get some spice in regards of eating food and all that, but in the end it's just not worth it. It hurts so bad sometimes when you have been eating chili and it just comes out and it's like, oh, it just burns you in the end. It's just it may be enjoyment to eat it, as long as not too strong, That's when you take all these, the hottest of the hottest, they can pretty much just lock your system down, I remember when one of my friends years ago, actually many years ago now, but I guess I still remember it as it was like yesterday. And it was like getting popular in regards of these hot, spicy peppers. And he had like, I think it was the hottest at that time. And he chopped it up and we took half each. And I remember walking home from him and like I had my I was totally roasted. Of course, in regards of just, it was worse than us in regards of being home with him. But when I had to go home, I was just, my whole body was, and my stomach hurted so bad. Why would we ever even do such things, And still the same with the chilies, It might not be that hot when you eat it, but when it needs to get out, it can really be hurtful, It's always the worst, Like to have it a little spicy and all that, right? But when it gets out, I'm just thinking every time, it's not worth it, and yet I'm still doing it. It's the stupidity of man, I guess, or the stupidity of myself. So here's a thing to myself: if I ever going to watch this, don't eat chili. Don't eat it. Just keep away from it. It's not worth it when you go on the throne. It's just not worth it. I hate it. Hey, I really hate that. So anyway, where did we go to? So, and the blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are. When I see the blood, I shall pass over you. That's in regard, I guess it would be interesting to actually see how the Passover is written in the Hebrew, if it's that much in regards of like a Pesach, or if it's close to it or something like that. And I shall pass over you, and let the plague not come on you to destroy you when I smite the land of Mitzrayim, Egypt. And this day shall become to you a remembrance, and you shall observe it as a festival to Jehovah throughout your generations. Observe it as a festival, an everlasting law. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Indeed, on the first day you cause leaven to cease from your houses. For whoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that being, and I would think it would be translated nefesh in the Hebrew, which I think would better be translated than to soul. But anyway, and that being shall be cut off from Israel. And on the first day is a Kodesh, a holy gathering. And on the 7th day, you have a Kodesh gathering, a holy gathering. No work at all is done on them. So no work. If you work as this and that, don't work, Only that which is eaten by every being, that alone is prepared by you. So as I understand it, you're allowed to make food on that day or on those days. Also, when we see the Egyptians coming out in regards to the Sabbath, they are collecting for the next day, where it seems they are allowed then to make whatever they want to make out of it. As far as I can see. So it seems it's okay to make whatever in regards to food on the Sabbath, as far as I can see, as far as I understand anyway. It seems like some of the Jews actually prepare the food before the Sabbath, But I guess they're trying to make it as easy as possible. But it does, as far as I can see, it's okay to make it on the day itself. But I guess, if you make it before, then you of course have, you don't need to do it on the Sabbath then, right? And that's, the preparation day is the sixth day just before the Sabbath. So where you prepare yourself for the things. But again, if you're allowed to make food on the Sabbath, anyway, I don't know if there's what the Jews do today in regards to the rules, but I have seen where like things are prepared before the Sabbath. Now, of course, the women were out in the kitchen in regards to that place. They were probably preparing things and making things still on the Sabbath. Yeah. So, yep. Mm-hmm. Would have been nice with some more juice, That's, I thought I made a lot, but I'm really thirsty, Anyway, I have some water in the refrigerator. So anyway, have a Kodesh gathering. No work at all is done on them. Only that which is eaten by every being, that alone is prepared by you. So again, no work at all is done on them. Only that which is eaten by every being, and again, that's probably soul again, on the fish. So I would not be in agreement with again, you see some of these translations, and again, because of copyright thing and all that, and then they choose other words to make it different than other translations, as I understand it, because they can't take copyright if they are not different from others. It's just a weird thing, and that's why it would be better to have a version that is not copyrighted, because then you can do and use the words not with any, you can fix the words without thinking, oh, I need to have it copyrighted, so I need to find another word that, is different from everybody else but means something of the same. It's just, lunacy in some sense, and the idea of, making it like a child can understand, like child words, instead of all these words that the so-called clever people is finding out, Like, for example, there's multiple names for an electrician. And, instead of just calling it by the standard name, or a dumpster man or whatever, it's just, in Danish, it's pretty much a dumpster man, I guess, But now it's, they have different weird words that it's, it's just, how are you ever going to understand that? If you have a trash man, that's a trash man, or a dumpster man, maybe it's a trash man, it's actually. So that's a trash man. Why is he called a trash man? Because he takes the trash, It's just, that seems, as a scene in regards to a I'm not sure if that is actually called a bibliothecarian in regards of the English thing, but anyway, just have to, you have the words, if you can actually look at the word and see it's actually collected by other words, so you can actually understand what the word is. I think that's, but all these, advanced titles, this and that, lunacy, absolutely lunacy. Anyway, have a Kodesh gathering, no work at all is done on them, only that which is eaten by every being, that alone is prepared by you. Again, seems to be okay to prepare food on the Sabbath. Like, for example, the Passover lamb, right? It's okay to do the Passover lamb in regards to the food and all that. As far as I can see, that is okay to do on the Sabbath. And of course, then you needed to be collected with other people celebrating the Sabbath and maybe singing some songs, celebrating God and what he did for us and so forward. And yeah. And not the Easter bunny, you know, this egg-laying rabbit or hare or whatever, you know, and all these sun god traditions and all that. You know, the sun, the literal, you know, the solar god, you know, a false god, a pagan god, you know, worshipping Satan, doing the traditions of Satan instead of doing the traditions of God, or the festivals of God, or those days that are set apart. Instead, we are following, or many are following Satan. And the world is pretty much following Satan. You know, just very sad. And you shall guard the matzot, I guess in regards of the unleavened bread or something like that. And you shall guard the matzot. I do wonder what this is. I need to check the King James, I think, just to see what they translate that to. Where are you, my little King James version? Where did I put you? Did I put you over here? No. Where are you? Oh, there you are. No, there you are. There we go. King James Version, Pink Edition. Yep. And the reason why I got it in pink was, you know, if I needed to have it with me somewhere in the, you know, for example, in sitting out in the waters, or in the you know, going out in the forest and all that, and I wanted to have it easily you know, be able to easily find it. I would have liked it in orange, but they didn't have it in orange. So I took the color that was, you know, yeah. Yeah, well, you can actually, it's a plastic Bible, so you can take it in, you can go out and swim and take it along with you and read the Bible out in the ocean. And sit in the ocean, sit in the cool ocean, and enjoy yourself and reading. Just, you know, find a place where you can sit in the water somewhere and enjoy yourself, and then you can just read the Bible and get, you know, the salt water, you know, get a salt bath in some sense. Let's see. No, it's a Genesis at the moment. I see 17. 17, what was it? Of 12:17. 12. Now, of course, some of the mobiles nowadays of you know, can actually handle water. I'm not sure in regards to salt water, but I don't have one of these mobiles, and it's not really, you know. I don't know if I would use it in regards of, you know, if you drop it in the water and yeah, well, I don't know. In any case, it's not really something. But I have a lot of Bible versions on the mobile. But you know, in regards of being waterproof, I'd rather like it actually having, you know, a battery thing, and you know, an SD card, and yeah, and all that. It's really, you know, it's really weird, you know, getting ordered something and then getting something else, you know. Hopefully he just made a mistake, you know. I'll check after the Sabbath or the Passover, see if I can get a hold of him. Let's see, 12:17. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this self same day they translate it as unleavened. Yeah, so that they're using the Hebrew word, it seems, and you shall guard the matzot. So that is unleavened bread. Just curious, because I guess the matzot has been translated to unleavened bread before. Didn't we read it in regards of unleavened bread? Maybe did. But apparently they translated matzot, which is in the King James Version translated as unleavened bread. So it's just telling, let's see. And you shall guard the matzot, the unleavened day, I guess in regards to the festival, And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this self same day have I brought you armies. Was that actually? Okay, yeah. And you shall guard the matzot, for on this same day I brought you divisions out of the land of Mitzrayim. So I guess it's in regards of unleavened bread, the first day of unleavened bread. But I'm not sure in regards of that, because they traveled, and the question is how long did they travel? And when did the Egyptian army be destroyed and all that and so forward? And there might be something interesting in regards of that, but anyway. For on this same day I brought your divisions out of the land of Mitzrayim, and you shall guard this day throughout your generations, an everlasting law. In the first, on the 14th day of the month, in the evening you shall eat unleavened bread. And this is again on the evening, and from the evening is the 15th. You shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month in the evening. So you still have that evening included as far as I understand it. Like you have 15, that 1, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 29, and that's still some of the, anyway. So that's 7. So as I understand it, you still have, I think it talks about the last day, which day is the last day somewhere in regards to that. But anyway, for 7 days no leaven is to be found in your houses. If you take all the pieces together and all that, you have the 14, which is the day that the Passover is slain, and then the 15 at sunset begins the 15, and thereby you eat the lamb, and you need to destroy whatever is left of the lamb in the morning. So anyway, for 7 days no leaven is to be found in your houses. And again, I think it was in regards to that where you have a word that pretty much fit in regards of leavened bread, not in regards of fermentation of anything else, but in regards to the bread. Anyway, for 7 days no leaven is to be found in your houses, for if anyone eats what is leavened, that same being shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether sojourner or native of the land. So again, it's a very important thing that you don't eat, that you don't eat leavened bread when in regards of unleavened bread, the festival of unleavened bread. For if anyone eats what is leavened, that same being shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether sojourner or native of the land. So, on here again it goes, do not eat that which is leavened in all your dwellings. You are to eat unleavened bread. So, and they're still doing that, these. So that's, I think they have pretty much done that all over the world where they have been, they're still eating unleavened bread on these things. And Moshe called for all the elders of Israel and said to them, go out and take lambs for yourself according to your clans, and slaughter the Pesach. And he actually only says lambs, he doesn't say goats here, but according to the other place, they could take a lamb or a goat, and slaughter the Pesach. And you shall take a bunch of hyssop and there's different theories on that. But as far as I understand it, hyssops is like in this. You can also get it. Oh, what's it called? Oregano, I think it's called. I wonder if that's also called oregano in English. I think it's oregano. Some say hyssop might be. It seems to be the biggest contender for that. And dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 doorposts with the blood that is in the basin. I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but I guess it's like I do wonder what the Hebrew word is. Maybe it could be. No, it will be interesting to see, but maybe it could be a mitzvah, but I don't know. But it would be a collection of blood, right? So, and a mitzvah is like a collection of waters. Like the first mitzvah is in regards of the whole ocean. That's a mitzvah, where the waters collect together. And none of you shall go out of the door of his house until morning. So we are not allowed to go outside. And actually, I've pretty much already broken that as well. I've pretty much broken a lot of things. But, I'm trying to learn still. But I was outside the door in regards of my altan. What's it called in English? The outside place where I had my grill. It's a little hard to grill inside when there's smoke all the way, and we don't really have any places in our days to make food inside in that way. So let's see here. In all your dwellings, you are to eat unleavened bread. And Moshe called for all the elders of Israel and said for them, go out and take lambs for yourself according to your clans, and slaughter the Pesach, the Passover. Pesach is the Passover in Hebrew. And you shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 doorposts with the blood that is in the basin. And you, none of you shall go out of the door of his house until morning. So no one is allowed to go out until morning. I wonder when they actually, so the start, when they went out of Israel, that would then probably have been in the morning, I guess, after morning, or after, when it became morning, it must have been at that point then, at some point when they went out and not in the night. And you just think about the after the midnight, which is around 12 o'clock or something like that, and then all the children are dying off in regards to the Egyptians. That must be a huge, a lot of things going on just at that point. Then what do we have, like 6 hours for morning or something like that? And Jehovah shall pass on. So here we see that Jehovah, and again it's saying Jehovah shall pass on to smite the Mitzrites. So it's Jehovah that shall pass on to smite the Egyptians, and shall see the blood on the lintel and on the 2 doorposts. And Jehovah shall pass, so this Jehovah shall pass over the door and not allow the destroyer to come into your houses to smite you. So Jehovah is passing over the door and not allow the destroyer to come into the house to smite you. So it seems like there's a destroyer, in regards to this as well. And you shall guard this word as a law for you and your sons forever. And it shall be when you come to the land which Jehovah gives you. So again, this is a land that is given to them, as he promised, that you shall guard this service. I do wonder what that word is as well in the Hebrew in regards of service. What does the King James say? Let's see here. 25. It just says, and ye shall keep this service. So it says the same thing actually. And it shall be when you, but again, I wonder what the Hebrew says, and it shall be when your children say to you, what does this service mean to you? And again, service again, the word service. Then you shall say, it is the Pesach or Passover, slaughtering of Jehovah, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Mitzrayim. So here we see the who passed over, like in regards to the Lamb of Jehovah, which is Yeshua. When we proclaim his blood, we, in regards to the judgment, we pass over the judgment, in regards to the future judgment, even if we don't deserve it, because God died for us, God was raised up on the tree and he died for us, and his bread was broken and his wine poured out for the sins of the world. So anyway, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Mitzrayim, when he smote the Mitzrites and delivered our households, and the people bowed their heads and did obedience. Let's see here. The houses of the children of Israel in Mitzrayim, when he smote the Mitzrites, the Egyptians, and delivered our households, and the people bowed their heads and did obedience. I do wonder in regards, is this the Egyptians that bowed their heads and did obedience? Because we did have this thing that, and all these servants of yours, talking to Pharaoh apparently, shall come down to me, and again, it's either Moses or Jehovah, but I think it might actually be Moses, to me and bow down to me, and that would probably be in regards of obedience, and the people bowed their heads and did obedience. That could be in regards of it. I'm still trying to figure it out here. And all these servants of yours shall come down to me and bow down to me, saying, get out, you and all the people at your feet. And after that I shall go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in great displeasure. This displeasure. And who went out from Pharaoh? That would be Moses, right? So he says to Pharaoh, I will go, I guess, So it could be, and again, maybe the Hebrew can actually share some lights on it, or what is it called? Paranauts. Very dry. No. I'm just getting more thirsty. I guess I gave the meat a good amount of salt as well. I don't really feel it tastes salty, It had you can taste the salt, but it's not bad. It's pretty good actually. Yeah. Let's see, yeah. The Mitzrites and they delivered our households, and the people bowed their heads and did obedience. And the children of Israel, went away and did so, as Jehovah had commanded Moshe and Aaron, so they did. Okay. And it came to be at midnight. Here we go in regards of midnight. And the midnight is where God is said to go out. We had that at another place in regards of midnight. And Moshe said, I'm going back to, and Moses said, thus said Jehovah, about midnight, I am going out into the midst of Mitzrayim. So we have the midnight here as well. And it came to be at midnight that Jehovah smote all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, which is the land of Egypt. Again, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sat on his throne to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of livestock. But again, it doesn't really say that the firstborn has to be male. And the thing is, when you see the movies and all that, and usually when people are talking about it, they say it's like it's the firstborn, and I'm like, as far as I can see, there might be a place, but as far as I can see, it seems to just be the firstborn, whether it's male or female, But yeah, a firstborn can be a girl as well, right? So, and Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, all the Mitzrites, and there was a great cry. So they rose up in the night, of course, yeah. And we're told that the Israelites are not allowed to go out of the house before, the morning. And he and all his servants and all the Mitzrites, and there was a great cry in Mitzrayim. And there was a great cry in Mitzrayim, for there was not a house where there was not a dead one. And then he called for Moshe and Aharon by night. Apparently they're calling them out by night. They were not allowed to go out by night, but apparently... and he called for Moshe and Aharon by night and said, Arise, go out from the midst of my people, both you and the children of Jehovah, and go serve Jehovah as you have said. But I have another problem in regards to this, because Moses said to Pharaoh that when he, earlier in the last part of chapter 10, he says, And Pharaoh said to him, Get away from me, watch yourself and see my face no more. For in the day you see my face, you die. And Moshe said, You have spoken rightly. Never again do I see your face. But, it seems, Moses said, Never again you will see my face. Now, of course, it was Moses speaking, but apparently it seems like he must have seen his face again, doesn't it? If Pharaoh let's see, up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Mitzrites, and there was a great cry in Mitzrayim, for there was not a house where there was not a dead one. And he called for Moshe and Aharon by night and said, Arise, go out from the midst of my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go serve Jehovah as you have said. But, one thing is that they're going out by night. That's one thing. Another thing is that Moses said that he would never see his face again, yet it seems like, he must have seen his face, in regards to Pharaoh. If it's Pharaoh calling him, which is the king of the Egyptians. And said, Arise, go out from the midst of my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go serve Jehovah as you have said. Take both your flocks and your herds as you have said, and go. Then you shall bless me too, or barach me too. And the Mitzrites urged the people to hasten to send them away out of the land, for they said, We are all dying. And the people took that dough, the dough, and they took it before it was leavened, having their kneading bowls bound up in their garments on their shoulders. So they have their kneading bowls, and the dough apparently. They're apparently making bread before it was leavened. I'm not sure how that worked out in regards, because can't, you usually take some leaven, right, from another leaven and put it in there and wait. But if you want to make leaven, you can also let it stand there, but it takes some time to actually become sour or something like that. I haven't really, but as I understand it, when you first have made it, you usually take something from the last batch that is leavened, so you already have it leavened, and then you can put it in the next, thing that is, quickening the leavening process, and so forward. But so I'm not sure how this works out in regards of and how long it would actually take and all that to leaven without putting leaven in it, but it doesn't. Yeah. Because I would have thought that it's just And the people took their dough before it was leavened. So they took the dough before it was leavened, having their kneading, but they were told to not eat anything leavened, right? So already they have had one night where they were told not to eat anything leavened. So if they were told not to eat anything leavened on that night and the next ones, shouldn't they follow those instructions as well? Anyway. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, having their kneading bowls bound up in their garments on their shoulders. And the children of Israel had done according to the word of Moshe, and they had asked from the Mitzrites objects of silver and objects of gold and garments, and Jehovah gave. Was there any garments apparently as well, in regards of clothing apparently. And Jehovah gave the people favor in the eyes of Mitzrites, so that they gave them what they asked, and they plundered the Mitzrites. So there we go in regards of favor in the eyes of the Mitzrites, so that they gave them what they asked, and they plundered the Mitzrites. I'm not sure if that's the right word to use in regards of plunder, because, they were asking for it and they were given it, right? So if they were giving the things, they really, I have to see the Hebrew in regards to that. But, of course, what does the King James Version say? Let's see. 36. It just says that, and they spoiled the Egyptians. That didn't really work, I need to see the Hebrew. And the children of Israel departed from Ramesses to Sukkot, about 600,000 men on foot, besides the little ones. So I do wonder in regards if that's the males, or if it's the males and the women. Anyway. And a mixed multitude went up with them too, also flocks and herds, very much livestock. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough, which they had brought out of Mitzrayim, for it was not leavened, since they were driven out of Mitzrayim and had not been able to delay, nor had they prepared food for themselves. But didn't God say they couldn't go out before morning? So shouldn't this be morning when they're going out? And the sojourn of the children of Israel who lived in Mitzrayim was 430 years. And that there might be an error in regards to this, because some versions have in regards of Egypt and Canaan, I think it was. And if you calculate it and begin to look into it, some people have done the calculations and all that, and it seems to be from Canaan, from the time of Canaan. It talks also, let's see, and it came to be at the end of the 430 years on that same day, it came to be that all the divisions of Jehovah went out from the land of Mitzrayim. And I think that's in regards of those 430 years, that exact day, in regards of something in regards of Abraham. But yeah. I can't remember. Okay, well, there's been some hours going. My my mobile pretty much pretty much went off, and I had it to charge, but apparently it didn't charge. so um so I tried to, and after a while it began to charge again, but it took some time for it to turn on. So it's like nearly 4 o'clock or something like that. And according to the Bible, it was in regards of midnight when Jehovah went through in regards to Egypt. Let's see. Yeah, it's nearly half. I've been eating a little more of the food, and the last bit I have is pretty much liver. It is kind of chewy, I think. I must say, in regards to the other one that was dried out, it seemed a little easier actually to eat. But in any case, it's not that much that is left. Still have the bitter herbs, and yeah, it smells like dandelion. Dandelion. I think it's dandelion. Let's see. There we go. It's getting a little cold, actually. I should probably take my jacket on. To get some heat. Usually, it tends to help. Maybe I'm getting a little sick as well. Oh well. Let's see. Oh, by the way, I need a battery for the headlight. 2 seconds. Well, maybe a little more than 2 seconds, but there we go. Nice and easy, out and in, and it's pretty much easy install. Oh, there we go. Over. So let's see. I do wonder where we actually got to, and but it seems pretty good in regards to the lightning, at least. I'm not sure why it's actually necessary for the camera to be on. I don't think you can actually turn it off, and then it could be nice if one could actually turn it off so it wouldn't actually use power for showing that it's recording. Of course, it's nice to see what you're recording, but if it's not necessary, it would have been nice to be able to. Oh well. So we got in regards, you shall guard the Matzot, which is in regards to the unleavened bread, the festival of unleavened bread. For on this same day I brought your divisions out of the land of Mitzrayim, and you shall guard this day throughout your generations, an everlasting law. In the first, on the 14th day of the month, in the evening you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month in the evening. For 7 days, didn't we actually get further? I think we got, and it came to be midnight that, I'm just jumping here a little. Let's see here. That was in regards of, I do wonder where we left off. I think actually we got to, in regards of plunder, the Mitzrites, I remember that. And the children of Israel departed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 men on foot, besides the little ones. And a mixed multitude went up with them too, also flocks and herds, very much livestock. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough, which they had brought out of Mitzrayim, for it was not leavened, since they were driven out of Mitzrayim, and had not been able to delay, nor had they prepared food for themselves. Oh yeah, we also read this in regard to, and the sojourn of the children of Israel who lived in Mitzrayim was 430 years. And again, some of the translations, as I remember, it says Mitzrayim or Egypt and Canaan, and there are some calculations on that, but we'll not go into that. And it came to be at the end of the 430 years, on that same day it came to be all the divisions of Jehovah went out from the land of Mitzrayim. And I think, again, it was something in regards of Abraham and all that. It is a night to be observed unto Jehovah for bringing them out of the land of Mitzrayim. This night is unto Jehovah to be observed by all the children of Israel throughout their generations. And Jehovah said to Moshe and Aaron, this is the law of the Pesach, or Passover. No son of a stranger is to eat of it. But, the thing is, Yeshua came to who? He came to his own people, first and foremost, But they rejected him, and then, of course, the salvation went to the Gentiles then afterwards. But any servant a man has bought for silver, when you have circumcised him, then let him eat of it. A sojourner and a hired servant does not eat of it. It is eaten in one house. You are not to take any of the flesh outside the house, nor are you to break any bone of it. So no breaking of bones. And again, the thing that I bought already had the, bones cut and all that. So but it's, yeah. I'm not sure how I guess in regards of, no bone cutting or breaking. Anyway, and of course, Yeshua, there was no bones of Yeshua that was broken. And let's see here. And do not take any of the flesh outside the house. So, that would be that. And I guess they could burn it inside again. I guess they had like a stove or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what it's called in English, but I guess they had a burning place inside where they could actually burn the things. Let's see here. So all the congregation of Israel are to perform it, and when a stranger sojourns with you and shall perform the Pesach or Passover to Jehovah, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and perform it. And he shall be as a native of the land, but let no uncircumcised eat of it. Here we have, in regards to the, uncircumcised, it's the pagans, right? And then we have the circumcised. And, Yeshua came, for his own first and foremost. And, and then it went out to the Gentiles afterwards. But it says, there is one Torah, one law for the native born and for the stranger who sojourns among you. So the same law when one is going to Israel should be the same thing as those in regards of the native Israel. And all the children of Israel did as Jehovah commanded Moshe and Aaron, so they did. And it came to be on the same day that Jehovah brought the children of Israel out of the land of Mizraim according to their divisions. And we are now in chapter 13. And again, we have to be careful in regards to the chapters because they were inserted later. And again, sometimes, there are places where these chapters are just put in there where it's just, have no idea how they could make such mistakes, without doing it on purpose, I guess. Or maybe they're just, I don't know, but it just seems, some of it really, really messes things up, I think. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe, saying, Kadosh to me all the firstborn. I think it said, but must be like make holy to me all the firstborn, the one opening the womb among the children of Israel, among man and among beast, it is mine. I do wonder if that is only in regards of males or in regards of women as well here. Of course, I don't know what the Hebrew is here, but anyway. And Moshe said to the people, remember this day in which you went out of Mitzrayim, out of the house of slavery, for by strength of hand Jehovah brought you out of this place, and whatever is leavened shall not be eaten. So anything that is leavened, and again, I think it's in regards of, the leavened bread and not anything, not in regards of anything else fermented, just the leavened bread, So he says, today you are going out in the month of Aviv, and that's the month where, in regards of the barley being Aviv, and there's that's the thing, there's some discussions when, and, some believe it's the next month, and, some believe it's this month. There has been found Aviv, all the 6 groups confirmed that there has been found Aviv. And again, we talked about that, earlier. And it's the 2 Jewish groups, as I understand it, that do not agree with, they are going with the next month. But the thing is, we already have an episode where all the barley was, pretty much done away, where they waited another month. And it might be the same thing this year, we'll have to see. And again, when you look at the Bible in regards of not, and in regards to the sickle, and in regards of historical sources, and that's something I want to relook at in regards of this lecture. But he had some great stuff in it in regards, for example, from Josephus. I was thinking if Josephus had written anything about it, and lo and behold, he has something from Josephus. It's wonderful to see when people are fixing sources here and there. So really, really, really nice. And Josephus seemed to confirm in regards of the harvest beginning at, after the first fruit. So you're not allowed to harvest things before the first fruit. And if that is true, well, if the harvest is then, capiche, that doesn't really work, does it? So I think it seems to me that the Christians have it correct, and they collect all the sources. They use Jewish sources. They use, Josephus was also a Jew, of course, but, getting on the Roman side, I guess. But they used different, it's very, very nice to see all the sources they use. Because again, there was shown a lot of confusion this year, and this lecture that Brian, I think it was called, did set me straight again and again. It's a very, a huge amount of confusion this year, and it's just nice to be set straight on things, from someone that has really done a lot of research and getting things straight. Let's see here. I'm getting a little tired. So let's see here. Kadosh to me all the firstborn, the one opening the womb among the children of Israel, among man and among beast, it is mine. And Moshe said to the people, remember this day in which you went out of Mitzrayim, out of the house of slavery, for by strength of hand Jehovah brought you out of this place, and whatever is leavened shall not be eaten. Today you are going out in the month of Aviv. Oh yeah, that was where we actually came to. And it shall be when Jehovah brings you into the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Rivaites, and the Jebusites, which he swore to your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, that you shall keep this service in this month, or service. I still wonder what, maybe it's Moed or something like that in regards to the Hebrew. Something to look into. 7 days you eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day is a festival to Jehovah. Again, we have the first day of unleavened bread is a festival. That would be the Passover, where you eat the Passover. And then the last day of unleavened bread is a festival as well as Shabbat. And then you have the first fruit, and that's after the Sabbath. So that would be tomorrow that the first fruit is. So we just need to have the day, and then we have the sunset, and then we start the day of the first fruit. And the idea is that when they fix the first fruit, then you are allowed to begin to harvest and eat the things from this year, the new things. And if that is the case, then the book of Ruth, for example, which he also used, very interesting, then that story would be after the first fruit. So, and they were eating in regards, and we see this, this parched grain. Apparently, they say you can only have parched grain if it's, in the, fresh state. So, and on the 7th day is the festival to Jehovah. Unleavened bread is to be eaten the 7 days, and whatever is leavened is not to be seen with you, and leaven is not to be seen with you within all your borders. Again, I still think it's, as I understand, it's only in regards of leavened bread. It's not in regards of fermenting, things, other things, And I think the Hebrew, if I remember correctly, used specific words in regards of, bread. Anyway, I can't remember. It's some time since I studied it, but I remember studying it because, I had this guy saying that it was in, probably, I can't remember if that was more, but at least one guy or someone talking about that, it was all fermenting things. So I did research on that, and I found out that no, it's not only the bread. That was my conclusion. I can, of course, be wrong, but, that was what made sense to me, what I found in regards of going behind the Hebrew, as I understand it, as I remember it anyway. So I pretty much, didn't really, push that aside. You have a lot of, things, and a lot of people say many different things, and thereby, it's, anyway, and you shall inform your son in that day, saying, it is because of what Jehovah did for me when I came up from Mitzrayim, And it shall be a sign for you on your hand, and as a reminder between your eyes, that the Torah of Jehovah is to be in your mouth. For with a strong hand Jehovah has brought you out of Mitzrayim. So a strong hand Jehovah has brought you out of Mitzrayim. In regards of a sign on your hand, I guess that is in regards of doing, in regards of being a reminder, in regards of between your eyes, to remember, in regards of thinking. So doing and thinking that the Torah of Jehovah is to be in your mouth. You are to speak in regards of the Torah. So that was just interesting. Anyway, and you shall guard this law at its appointed time from year to year, and it shall be when Jehovah brings you into the land of the Canaanites, as he swore to you and your fathers, and gives it to you, that you shall pass over to Jehovah every one opening the womb. Okay, pass over. So every firstborn is to be passed over to Jehovah. Everyone opening the womb, and every firstborn that comes from your livestock, and every firstborn that comes from your livestock. So, now it's okay. The firstborn that comes from your livestock, the males belongs to Jehovah. So here it has something in regards of males at at this point. Oh, so there's some problems here in regards to the pencil or whatever. But every firstborn of a donkey, and that's actually the name I think Luther used for the so-called Pope, the Antichrist. He called him donkey, a donkey fat ass or something like that. Anyway, so there was some explanations I heard in regards to why he did that. In any case, you can go look that up yourself. But every firstborn of a donkey you are to ransom with a lamb. And if you do not ransom it, then you shall break its neck. And every firstborn of a man among your sons you are to ransom. And every firstborn of a man among your sons you are to ransom. So you're also to ransom. Okay, why are firstborn of a man among your sons you are to ransom? Okay. And it shall be when your son asks you in time to come, saying, what is this? Then you shall say to him, by strength of hand Jehovah brought us out of Mitzrayim, out of the house of bondage. And it came to be when Pharaoh was too hardened to let us go, that Jehovah killed every firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. I do wonder if that is pointing to it's only being male, so maybe in regards of, anyway, therefore I am slaughtering to Jehovah every male that opens the womb, but every firstborn of my sons I ransom. Therefore I am slaughtering to Jehovah every male that opens the womb. But every firstborn of my sons I ransom. Is there something in regards of, in regards to the Egyptians? Is there some parable in regards to remember that, that every the Egyptians, that the firstborn died? Is that what is going on or something like that? So see, but every firstborn of a donkey you are to ransom with a lamb, and if you do not ransom it, then you shall break its neck. And every firstborn of man among your sons you are to ransom. And it shall be when your sons ask you in time to come, saying, What is this? Then you shall say to him, By strength of Jehovah brought us out of Mitzrayim, out of the house of bondage. And it came to be when Pharaoh was too hardened to let us go, that Jehovah killed every firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I am slaughtering to Jehovah every male that opens the womb. But isn't that only in regards to the donkeys, or was it also in regards to the other ones? No. That you shall pass over to Jehovah everyone opening the womb, and every firstborn that comes from your livestock, the males belong to Jehovah. So it seems like actually every single animal has to be let's see, pass over to Jehovah everyone opening the womb, and every firstborn that comes from your livestock, the males belong to Jehovah. I wonder what you then need to do. I'm still, there's a lot I still don't know. But every firstborn of a donkey you are to ransom with a lamb, and if you do not ransom it, then you shall break its neck. So you don't need to ransom the other ones, or how? I'm not entirely sure on these things. So therefore okay, so let's see. But every firstborn of my sons I ransom, and it shall be as a sign on your hand, and as frontlets between your eyes. Again, having action in regards to the hands, and frontlets between your eyes in regards of, remembering to do it, to remember to do it, and do it in regards